Long ago, when temples still whispered to the heavens and the sea itself was worshipped as a god, there lived a humble fisherman named Dorian. He was no hero, no warrior, and no prophet. He had only his small boat, his worn nets, and a heart stubborn enough to wrest a living from the endless waves. One evening, after days of poor catches, Dorian set out farther than ever before. The sea was strangely still, the sky heavy with silence. As he cast his net, it snagged on something deep below. With all his strength, he hauled it up, and what emerged was not fish, but a fragment of stone, carved with intricate runes that glowed faintly in the twilight. It was the face of a forgotten god. One eye still intact, staring with unsettling clarity. The moment Dorian touched the fragment, the waves around his boat began to pulse, rising and falling with his breath. A chill swept through him, and a voice, not from outside, but from within, whispered, "The sea knows you now." At first he thought he was cursed, but when he returned home, the sea itself obeyed him. Fish leapt willingly into his nets, storms split apart at his command, and the tides bent to his will. Word spread quickly, and people from distant villages came to see the fisherman who ruled the ocean. But with every gift comes a shadow. That night, he dreamt of colossal figures carved from stone, chained beneath the waves. Forgotten gods, their temples drowned, their names erased. They called out to him, "Return what is ours. We are not dead. We wait." Dorian awoke trembling, clutching the fragment to his chest. He wanted to throw it back into the sea, but each time he tried, the power of it gripped him stronger, and somewhere deep in his heart, he feared that the gods were not lying. The sea grew restless. Strange shapes moved beneath the water, vast and ancient. Ships were swallowed without storms. Coastlines eroded overnight, and voices echoed in the crashing waves. The priests of the great temple declared that the fisherman had broken a sacred balance. They demanded he surrender the relic. But Dorian refused, not out of pride, but because he could feel something darker stirring. The gods did not want their fragment returned. They wanted freedom. He feared what would happen if their chains broke. So he set out once more, sailing into the deepest heart of the ocean where no man had ever dared to go. For 3 days and nights the waves fought him, winds howled like beasts, and shadows swirled beneath his boat. At last, in the black silence of the 4th night, he found it. A colossal ruin rising from the sea floor, a temple half devoured by coral, its doors chained shut with iron as wide as trees. The voices thundered in his skull, "Return us! Break the chains! Free your gods!" But Dorian, trembling, lifted the fragment high and shouted into the storm, "You are not my gods. You are forgotten for a reason." With all his strength, he hurled the relic into the abyss. The sea screamed, the temple shook, and for one terrible moment it seemed the ocean itself would swallow him whole. Then silence. The waves stilled, the stars broke through the clouds, the ruin sank slowly into the darkness, vanishing forever. When Dorian awoke, his boat was drifting peacefully near his village. The sea no longer obeyed him. His nets were once again empty, his hands calloused with the same old struggle. But in his heart, he felt lighter, freer, as though a great weight had been lifted. Some say the gods still whisper beneath the ocean, waiting for another fool to hear them. Others believe the fisherman's defiance sealed them away for eternity. And sometimes, on nights when the sea is too quiet, the elders say you can still hear a voice in the waves. The sea knows you now.